to the Four Corners Sports Podcast, episode 6. And the first segment we are going to talk about is none other than probably the hottest topic to ever talk about in sports, LeBron James.
You mean Lagoat?
Lego.
La bum.
Yes, we're already starting off great. As most know, LeBron did switch his number back from 6, and he's going to go back to number 23. The reason he switched, the reason he went away from number 6 is because of Bill Russell and his death. The NBA retired Bill Russell's jersey number, so obviously LeBron has went back to 23. I'm pretty excited because 23 LeBron has obviously way more better moments than number 6 Bron, but again, it's LeBron, so he has a bunch of moments. So I have my top 5 lists of LeBron James and the number 6. Number 5, I just have simply him finally getting his championship rings. I don't really care where he went to go get those rings. He finally got them and got a bunch of pessimistic fans off his back after especially beating the Spurs. Number 4 is scoring his career high 62 points against the Charlotte Bobcats and putting the Bobcats in even more misery than they already were. The only relevance that the Bobcats ever had in the NBA were winning like 7 or 8 games in a year and LeBron scoring 62 points on them.
He stared down Michael Jordan on that dunk, too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, no one really cares.
His dominance.
No one really cares.
The GOAT stared down the second best player of all time.
And number 3, I'm throwing in a little curveball and what I put in my notes is his USA duties. LeBron James, he brought us 2 gold medals. He was the leader and best player of the 2008 Redeem Team and got us the gold medal back in Beijing after the 2004 collapse. And in 2012, it was just absolute dominance in London. Could be more thankful for what LeBron James has done for the red, white, and blue. And I definitely wish he played in 2016 and 2020 because ever since, like, the USA basketball hasn't been as strong, and that's simply because LeBron James hasn't played.
Yeah, he's done a lot for our country too with the activism and stuff, social activist stuff, all that.
His basketball activism's where it's at.
He's the only player ever to be criticized for winning a gold medal for our country. So
Yeah, that's very true.
Right, Jordan would beat teams by 35. LeBron would beat teams by 34. I mean, come on now. LeBron's got to be better than that.
He does.
Why are you guys talking about LeBum? That is absolutely disrespect. LeBron James is the best player of all time. Don't ever say that LeBron is a bum. LeBum is a foul name to say.
Bro, you know that dude just strokes it to Jordan highlights before he goes to bed. Whoever said that.
And Jordan over LeBum, again, that is whatever you want to say. It is opinion based. There's both a debate for both sides, so who really cares? Let's just be grateful for the talents we've seen. And number 2, I'm going to go with Boston Bron. Game 6 of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. Facing elimination in Boston on the road. And LeBron James just simply said, I'm not going to lose. And I think everyone in America who watched the game knew that they weren't going to lose after they showed his face right before the game and his stare down. You just knew LeBron was going to go off. And what does he do? Scores 45 points, completely dominates the game, and beats the Celtics by 20. And then they eventually win Game 7 and go to the finals and win his first chip. Do you guys want to predict my number 1?
Oh, I bet it's the comeback, the 3-1 comeback.
Well, it's in number 6.
LeBron did the 3-1 comeback in number 23.
Oh, I thought you were doing top 5 and top 5 worst.
No, so
6 and
my
23.
number...
Is it when he broke the scoring record?
Yeah, that would be my
that's probably.
That would be my other guess, yeah.
It is. Number 1 is hitting the fadeaway versus the Thunder to score his 36th or 38 point to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer, and Bird Dirk and Jerry West, the top 3 ever. Holy cow! I think
Jordan and white
I think that this guy was either born in the 1960s or he's just a white supremacist. So
Probably both.
Probably both.
Do you think he still
He's
strokes
not,
it?
he's not a fan of how the 3-point line.
Yeah.
you
Do you think he
tell.
still strokes it to Jordan clips?
Oh, dude, you know he does.
Yeah.
Before he goes to bed every night, just strokes it to Jordan.
So Jerry West has been to the same amount of finals as LeBron James and has 3 less rings. I think that says enough about Jerry West. Larry Bird's just unathletic and
Was Jerry West even the best player on his team, like, ever?
I'd probably say yes, but when he had Wilt, no.
No.
So when he actually won,
so
when
That's what I'm saying.
so when he actually won, no. But anyway, so I just want to say there's some talk that Larry Bird's a top 5 3-point shooter of all time. That is completely false. In the playoffs, he averaged 32% from 3, and that is abysmal in today's age. So, I mean, and LeBron did that this year, and people were criticizing him of how of a terrible 3-point shooter he was, and that was just this year. So imagine that, but every year, and that's Larry Bird. So I rest my case. JJ Redick is correct about him not being a top 5 3-point shooter ever.
JJ Redick is ESPN's best basketball analyst.
He is, but he goes into a little bit too much advanced stats, but he's easily the best analyst they have on there. Kendrick Perkins,
Terrible.
he needs to be fired immediately.
I don't know why he didn't get let go.
Yeah, especially after the Jokic comments. That was...
Besides being racist, it was just flat out stupid.
Hey, Joel's his MVP, man. You can't take it away from him.
Yeah,
All right,
Jokic
sorry,
is
I didn't
white,
mean
so
to cut.
it's okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Cooper. So
yeah. So again, to my point, the number 1 is hitting the fadeaway to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer. And there was a point in time where Jordan's a score first player. He isn't passing up the last shot. He's a more gifted scorer than LeBron, and LeBron has the most points in NBA history. So it's hard to really go against LeBron here. Some great moments. Another moment I didn't even mention was Batman Brown. Batman Brown was maybe the greatest player ever.
Was that your honorable mention?
Yeah, that was my honorable mention. Just putting on a mask, looking like Batman, and going off for 40 every night. It was just fantastic to see. And then when you play for 80 years and play no defense, it's not hard to have the most points. I beg to differ.
See, this is something I always thought about too. So we always talk about how physical the bad boy Pistons were and how LeBron could never play with them. He single-handedly ended, not the bad boy, the go-into-work Pistons. He single-handedly ended the go-into-work Pistons, scoring like 24 points straight for his team and put them to bed forever. And we've never recovered from that. He ended the Detroit Pistons
For 15
yes,
years.
we still haven't recovered.
And speaking of the bad boy Pistons, he's quite literally stronger, faster, and significantly more athletic than anyone on that team. He would have been just fine.
Yeah, so I don't know how we could talk about how like physical Ben Wallace was and Rasheed Wallace and how much like physical that era was, and then he comes in the league and averages 21 points per game as a rookie. So I don't know. I think he'd be just fine. And a lot of people don't talk about this too. In the Jordan era, illegal defense, you couldn't play zone defense and you couldn't play help defense. So it's literally like Waddles Park, you have to play your man only. You can't play any help defense. So what they did in Rec League or whatever, when they did with Jordan, they put him on one side of the court and then moved everybody to the right side, and it was just ISO basketball. Because if you help, that's illegal defense. You get free throws.
Yeah, imagine
imagine
LeBron with no help.
Yeah, but, it's just uneducated people that hear old heads talk about how physical the game was, and you get shot going to the basket every play. So
No, they really think there's a sniper up in the stands.
Oh
just
no, there
raining
was
down.
no, not even in the stands, on the court. They just pistol whipped them every time you go to the rim.
And in today's era, you can't look at someone wrong. I mean, there are some times where you look at the refs and you get a tech, but I mean, in the end, LeBron can get the calls he needs because, again, he's the best player in the league and has been for 20 years.
I can't believe people too think that Jordan did absolutely no crying to the refs and he was like this great team player. There's so many stories if you look of how terrible of a person Jordan was, and LeBron gets criticized almost because he's too good of a person. He's never had a scandal or anything in his life, and Jordan was like an alcoholic who gambled all the time and was like the worst person. I don't get
Straight
how.
up dickhead.
Yes, Brody put it in better words than I did. Just say it again, Brody.
He's a straight up asshole.
And
Can we just acknowledge LeBron too, and the day of stars, and how most of the stars in pro sports now are assholes, and LeBron's gone through no scandals, no bullshit, just performance on the court, winning championships, winning games, winning scoring titles, setting the league record. We just need to appreciate that instead of hate on him.
I know that we're all LeBron fans. I think we should get another side of a story, of the view, and go to Tommy here and his opinions, because I know he's not the biggest LeBron guy.
I will say right now, Brody and I are the most neutral in this debate. We both respect Jordan and LeBron a lot. Zane is completely Team LeBron, and Tommy is Team Jordan. So, Tommy, how do you feel about the praise LeBron's gotten this episode?
I agree with this guy in the comments.
Who's the guy in the comments?
I don't know, but he seems like a great guy, and I want to meet him.
Like you also. So you want to meet the white supremacist that strokes it to Jordan every night?
I don't know. It seems like a very valid top 3.
Oh my God!
Well, if we're
breaking
gonna
news, Tommy
we're
white supremacist.
if we're gonna do that, then we gotta put Jokic in the top 3. Gotta put Luka, and then Dirk. Those are probably the top
All
3.
the Europeans.
Yep.
So American white people suck. You just made all
Yep.
the white supremacists mad.
Even the hillbilly,
KKK's coming to your house
even the hillbilly from Indiana just couldn't get it done.
But no, I do want to say my.
You put Dirk over. We're back.
Game overseas is getting better.
So anyway, the game overseas is getting a lot better. So I don't know if we are going to lose that throne yet, but what he's done for our country in that regards, I don't think you can really take away from him.
I got to go with raw LeBron as well. I mean, the 2004, that's just a joke. I mean, we ruled the basketball world, and that was just a total joke. And it is, a lot of it, credit has to go to him for being the best player on the teams that brought the title back to America.
I love USA LeBron, but I'm just gonna go opposite and say Heat LeBron, just because I truly think that was the most talented LeBron ever was. He did get cheated out of a Defensive Player of the Year award.
Dude, there is no way that someone who makes second team all defense is the Defensive Player of the Year when LeBron was leading in every defense stat, and he makes first team all defense, and then you give it to Marc Gasol who makes second team all defense. What sense does that make at all?
And I don't give a fuck. Marc Gasol shouldn't even been a second team
Marc
defensive
Gasol.
player. Yeah, his unathletic ass can't even go to the pick and roll.
LeBron can guard 1 through 5. Gasol can guard
Guard
half
five.
of the 5. Half of the 5.
Well, they covered that Defensive Player of the Year robbery on me, and
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. And he was shooting 42% from 3 and guarding the team's best player then. And every time LeBron James stepped in a Heat uniform, it was just it's always been an easy 40, but I feel like Heat LeBron was when he was completely most talented. And Tom,
What number did I don't know. What number did he wear on the USA team?
6.
All right, that's good. I don't know if someone said it. I wasn't paying attention, but that's mine.
Yeah.
So
You're not even paying
so
attention
we
to your
do
own podcast?
we do
He hears LeBron and he just zones out.
we love our country and we love what LeBron James has done for us. And back to 23, see what that has to bring to us. Again, as he ended the Pistons' career, really just ended the Pistons as a franchise, we're now gonna go back to Detroit and talk about the maybe optimistic second half of the season for the Tigers. Zane.
Yeah, I really don't know how much optimism we have, but there is this thing I want to ask you guys.
2-0 since the All-Star break. That's all I want to say. Kerry Carpenter MVP, baby.
Yeah, Carp has been. Hey, Brody has an interesting thing on Kerry Carpenter too that I want him to share real quick before I get started.
So if I told you Kerry Carpenter was a 19th round pick in the draft, every Tigers fan would be absolutely ecstatic with Al Avila for making a good pick, right? The funniest part about that pick is he had to go outside the Tigers organization for help with that pick, and that's the person that picked Kerry Carpenter for him.
Yep, Al Avila's amazing. So the thing I want to propose to you guys is Michael Lorenzen. He's an all-star. We got him very cheap this year. Do you think maybe we can flip him for a couple of maybe top 50 prospects? Because you go up to someone and be like, can I interest you in an all-star? And his numbers have been getting better ever since the all-star break. You know what I mean, Brody?
Yeah, I just
Maybe
don't,
not top 50. That's pretty much a stretch, but you know what I'm saying.
I'm thinking maybe like a top 10 prospect from a different organization would be nice.
Yeah. I just don't know how much, because I think he's on a 1-year deal, right? So I don't know how much people would want or value that, getting him half a year. But if you're a playoff contender, you might want to get a guy like that. Or I still want to dump Erod, but we are 9 games back from being 500. We are, like Coop said, 2-0 since the All-Star break, and we're beating pretty good teams too. The Seattle Mariners are very good. They have Coop's boy Julio Rodriguez.
Overrated team, overrated player.
I mean, they're a good team.
They're
though.
an average team.
They're a good team.
Beautiful player.
Yeah, Coop can have Julio Rodriguez all to himself. I'm fine with that. But we are 5 games back instead of being 5.5 games back. I think the division's out of play at this point. I just don't think we can make a run at it.
The Mariners are 45 and 46. They are not good.
That's 500. We're 9 games back from 500.
They're a game
And
below
that means they were above 500 before we played them.
Yeah, they can't handle the Tigers. That tells something about that organization.
Yeah, I think you're not giving enough credit.
Well,
Do you think the Cincinnati Reds suck? Because they're like 2 games above 500.
Well, they're still not that good, no. I have a question for
Dude,
Cooper.
If you guys want a playoff team to watch this, if you guys don't watch playoff baseball, I think playoff baseball is amazing. You guys want a team to watch the Reds. Ellie De La Cruz and all their young talent. They will be very, very interesting and fun to watch this postseason.
You want the honest take? They won't make the playoffs, and Will Benson sucks. He sucks!
They'll make the playoffs.
I do have a question for Cooper, though. If any of you guys have seen that Tom Holland picture going around, would you do that? Would you be Tom Holland if Julio Rodriguez was behind you?
No. I mean, there's like a thing where straight males, okay, they respect other straight males, but they'd never do stuff like that. So I'm gonna say no. I mean, I love his eyes, but it's there's no gay stuff between.
I feel like you'd take it in the ass.
No, absolutely not.
Well, we're going to go back to Zane.
Honestly, I really don't know where to go from that. But yeah, the Tigers, I think the division's out. But, I'm hoping that maybe Max Clark could be up in 3 years. I don't like that pick at all. We talked about that last episode. But
Please don't go watch last episode. No, that was bad.
Just like it and give it a view and then click off of it.
But anyway, I'm going to give you to Brody for his segment. That's my Tigers segment.
The Tigers segment is done already?
Yeah, bro, quick segment. There's nothing to talk about.
That's a shame. I do have to say, I think I want to keep Erod. In a market where it's so hard to find consistent starting pitchers, we could roll out Manning, Mize, Skubal, and Erod, find a replaceable fifth, and I really, really like that rotation.
Yeah, I like their young rotation. I just think keeping Erod, it's kind of useless. He's going to opt out of his contract, and he's not going to be here next year. So we might as well just get him, lose him for something instead of for nothing. So that's why I want to dump Erod. And, obviously getting Riley Green and Skubal and Manning back, our young core is pretty good. Torkelson's starting to, show like he's a baseball player, but we say that every other week. He's hot, he's cold, he's hot, he's cold. I'm still pretty high on Torkelson. I think the people who are high on Torkelson are also the same type of people that are still high on Killian Hayes. So, you just want to see the optimism.
I feel like that's a totally different. Torkelson has significantly more optimism.
I don't know. I'm still pretty high on Killian Hayes.
Ugh.
See, you're just Killian Hayes hater, bro.
He's just
The playmaking, he just needs to shoot above 40%. Which he's struggling to.
Which even if you shoot above 40%, that's not good.
Get him to 45. He'll be a good player. Maybe.
Has he gotten close to 40?
Dude, he'll be a good bench, please. But anyway, I like our young core. Riley Green back. He's a stud. Riley Green's going to be an all-star this next year if he stays healthy. It should have been him this year if he was healthy. It shouldn't have been the fraudulent Michael Lorenzen. But I hope we can use that to dump him and get a prospect out of him.
I only want Erod if we keep him, by the way. And also, what's going on with Alex Lange? He has been shitting the bed lately. His last eight outings, he's gave up runs in 4 of them, I believe.
Honestly, he might just have the yips right now because I really have no idea what is going on with him. There's some days where he looks like the best closer in baseball, and then there's some days that he looks like he shouldn't be on a AAA roster. So I don't know. He's thrown some games away this year, and then he's also saved us in a lot of them. So I have no idea what's going on with him. It might just be a mental thing. It might just because this team's trash, and he knows he might be almost trying to strike everyone out because they know if you have a league leader in errors at shortstop, you have Spencer Torkelson at first, he might be trying to strike everybody out because then it's guaranteed, and he has no offense that'll bail him out of anything.
I don't know why he doesn't throw his knuckle curve more though. That's my one question. I think that's his best pitch, and I would love to see him throw that more.
Well, actually, he throws the curveball more than any other pitch he throws. I think it's at I don't know, I maybe 40% of the time, but
it legit needs to be higher. I'm not kidding. It needs to be higher.
Well, I don't agree. I don't disagree with you because that pitch is disgusting, and he can throw it for a strike a lot of the time. I think he should just ditch his changeup. He doesn't get good control out of that, and if it does, it's up in the zone and it gets shelled.
That's by far his worst pitch, I would say.
Yes, but he does throw the curveball the most out of all of his pitches. But I don't want to. There's people saying they want to dump Lang. I don't want to dump Lang. He's good. He's probably the only pick Al Avila's done that I'm completely sold on to.
Yeah, I would agree. Well,
You guys cut out Matt Manning.
was the mic back on? Yeah. Oh, well then.
So anyway, but yeah, I'm not really sold on Matt Manning yet. He used to top out at 102, and now he tops out at 94 ever since his injury. I mean, Skubal is obviously a good piece. Casey Mize hasn't proven to be anything yet because he can't stay on the field.
Well, he is good when he's on the field.
He is, but he can't stay on the field. Your best ability is availability, and he hasn't proven that to me yet. So, and then honestly, same with Skubal. He just got hurt. He's coming back, but Skubal's my favorite pitcher. So, I just got to give him some bias on that. But
all right. So now we're going to take it over to my segment. And last week we previewed the NFC North, and this week we're going to preview the AFC North. So we're going to start off by our MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, all that shenanigans, and then we're going to go into our team predictions. So I want to get you guys' MVPs.
So we're doing awards first?
Yes, we're doing awards first. I want to get you guys' MVPs real quick. I chose Joe Burrow. I did have it's a pretty easy pick. It's a basic pick. You could have went other ways, but I just think he's the best player in the division on one of the best teams.
Yeah, I would say Joe Burrow, but just to spice things up, I'm just going to say if he stays healthy, TJ Watt. Again, I am a TJ Watt believer, always have been since his Wisconsin days. And if he stays on the field, he's the third best defensive player in football. And again, he led the league in sacks the one year that he was fully healthy. So let's just see what will happen. But I do think it's Joe Burrow. I just wanted to change the MVP predictions up.
Yeah, I'm going with the best quarterback in the league. I don't think you guys will really disagree with me here.
Kenny Pickett?
And it's Jared Goff. I'm all right. No, I'm just kidding. But can I give you two?
Yeah, of course.
So
I have a defensive MVP.
So
I
I'm
prefer a different one.
going. Oh, you want defensive?
I have one of the. I have a defensive MVP and then defensive player of the year as well. I got a bunch.
See, so for my MVP, I was gonna say Lamar Jackson. I think he's gonna have a great year. He's finally got weapons now. Coach John Harbaugh is a very good coach, and I think they're gonna win the division. It's either them or the Browns. So are they in the same?
No Bengals?
No, I think they could win. I think the Ravens are gonna win. I don't think the Bengals will. I don't know. I think it's between them and the Browns, to be honest. So I think if they win the division, it'll end up being him. Or my second would be Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa plays in the AFC or NFC West.
What do you for my MVP?
We're doing AFC North preview.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
You're
thought
good.
you just said MVP.
All good, all
Okay,
good, all
my
good,
bad.
yep.
I'll go back to Nick Bosa later.
Tommy, for your AFC North MVP.
Now, this can bring a little controversy because this could probably be the offensive player of the year. I'm going to go Jamar Chase, though. I think he's going to have a big step up. I mean, I don't think he's been quiet the past 2 seasons, but I think he's going to really take that step and make an argument to be the best wide receiver in the league this year.
I like that. I think, as most people know, he might have been able to take that step last year, but as the injuries derailed his season, kind of sad to see. But he was really, really good when he was on the field. I took Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is a great player. I think, and it's a pretty obvious statement. But if you watch him, man, he's gotten so much better year by year. His pocket maneuverability, he can still extend plays like he did at LSU. He's super accurate. He's probably the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. And pre-snap processing, he's not Tom Brady. Nobody's going to be Tom Brady, but he's up there. He's the modern era's version of Brady when it comes to the processing, the mental side of the game. Now, I will say, this is going to ruffle some feathers. His playoff runs have been severely overrated. We're going to talk about that.
Actually, I agree with you.
He beat the Raiders. That team sucked. That team did not belong in the playoff. Look what they did the next year. And the year after that, their defense carried them.
He did have a chance to put the Rams away, too, in the fourth quarter, and it came out empty on a bunch of drives.
And he had 2 chances to put the Chiefs away this quarter, and this year Joe Cool didn't do it. The year before, Lou Arimena, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, the best defensive coordinator in the league, he was the one that beat the Chiefs. He outcoached Andy Reid to beat the Chiefs. And then the Rams, you put up 20 points. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, he did. He played great against the Bills this year. They also couldn't stop the run, and their defensive game plan might have been the worst thing they've ever seen.
And they only beat the Ravens because of a goal line fumble.
They should have lost that game. Their only touchdown that game was Sam Hubbard's fat ass running a 98-yard fumble return. So yeah, he's a great player. His success in the postseason is a tad overrated. For my offensive player of the year, super boring, but I have to pick who I think it is, and I have to go Lamar Jackson. I mean, I know we're not supposed to give 2 quarterback awards, but when there's 2 quarterbacks this good in this division, you kind of have to. With all the new weapons, the new coaching scheme, I'm really excited to see what he can do. Cooper, Tommy, Zane, what do you guys have?
Well, for picking T.J. Watt as overall AFC North MVP, have to go Joe Burrow for the offensive MVP. I mean, again, I just wanted to choose T.J. Watt just so I can change up some thoughts, but that's about it. Tommy, who do you think?
I'm going at the opposite, Brody. I'm completely going away from quarterbacks, and I think the offensive MVP, offensive player of the year, is going to be Najee Harris.
Dude, he is so mid. He is so mid. He is so mid, bro. He's the mid.
Granted, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a lot of good have some good wide receivers. Kenny Pickett's still Kenny Pickett, and he's still going to check down the ball, and he's going to return to that rookie year level.
No one can turn a 1st and 10 to a 2nd and 8 like Najee Harris can.
Yeah, so I think the funniest part is last year there's a bunch of vision concerns that came out throughout the season with Najee Harris, and he did get better by the end of the year, but I think Offensive Player of the Year in a stacked division is kind of blasphemous. Cooper, what do you have?
This is Offensive Player of the Year.
Correct.
Offensive Player of the Year, 100% Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. is coming out for blood. If Odell Beckham Jr. didn't get hurt in the Super Bowl, the Rams would have won by 30, but he did, so that's what made the game close. And Odell would have a Super Bowl MVP under his belt. He would have caught 2 more touchdowns. Odell Beckham Jr. most underrated player in the league.
I also would have won $250, but fuck, guys, ACL gave out on him.
He has had some really serious injuries, but bro has a baby now. He's gonna be locked in. He's gonna get the bills paid, and he's gonna be the best player in the AFC North.
I think Odell Beckham Jr. is just a guy that everybody roots for. Yeah. Like, I know he had some prima donna shit in New York, but he changed that around, man, and then he just played good. Whenever he's on the field, he's really good, and I'm excited to see him.
He was going to be the Super Bowl MVP until he got hurt.
And he did say Baker was the problem. He leaves, wins that ring.
He was right. All right, so now we got offensive rookie of the year. Oh, Zane, who's your offensive player of the year?
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I definitely get that take. He's going to come out, and we'll see if do you think he returns to his former top 5 at MVP voting form? So yeah, we all have Zay Flowers for offensive rookie of the year, and then the defensive MVP. I have two fun picks.
Defensive
MVP. I have one fun pick, and then I have Myles Garrett. I have a firm T.J. Watt believer, but I think Myles Garrett's the better player because he's a better run defender, and I also think he's better because he's more available. As we talked about earlier with Zane, the best ability is availability. He's been more available than T.J. Watt the last couple of years, and he's been the best defensive player in the AFC North when he is available.
Yeah, he hit it right on the head. Myles Garrett is the best defender in the AFC, and he's the second best defensive player in football, so he's my defensive MVP.
I'm going T.J. Watt just purely to disagree with Brody.
And for you, Thomas?
I'm sorry, this is gonna sound very casual. Minkah Fitzpatrick's still on the.
He is.
All right, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Dude, that's so casual. Yeah, I'm just kidding, Tommy. That didn't sound casual.
Alrighty, and then now for another award.
Tommy, I really respect your being different with the division with these stacked pass rushers, and they got good linebacking cores, and you're taking Minkah. I respect it. So for my defensive player of the year, I'm going to take the most underrated player in all of football, Cincinnati Bengals defensive tackle / nose tackle, DJ Reader. This dude is an absolute beast. He single-handedly keeps Lou, I'm not even going to say his last name, he lets Lou run the defense that he wants to run. And that's because he can two-gap as a nose and stop the run when they can sit back with playing 7 guys playing the run fit instead of 8 when they can stay in the Tampa 2. They don't have to run cover 3 to stop the run because of DJ Reader. He opens that defense up so much, and that's why I think he's the most valuable defensive player in the AFC North, but he won't produce to be the defensive MVP.
For my defensive player of the year, I was going to say Minkah, but Tommy did say it. I'm actually going to go Trey Hendrickson. Pass rusher out of Cincinnati. Wears no gloves, which is kind of gross. Baker Mayfield MVP. He's in the AFC South. We are in the AFC North, so we might get to that for the AFC South. But Trey Hendrickson, I feel like, is one of the most underrated pass rushers just because of everyone around him. And Dax Hill sucks, with all due respect.
What the hell?
He was gonna be my defensive player of the year after MVP.
Listen. Dax Hill, great Michigan player. Great, he is good in the NFL. I just want to say he sucks just because we have a lot of Michigan fans that listen to us. So I just wanted to ruffle their feathers and give us more views. But I'm gonna still stick with Trey Hendrickson. If it wasn't for Sam Hubbard running that 100-yard,
we're in the AFC.
AFC North, not NFC South. And again, if Sam Hubbard doesn't run that 100-yard scoop and score, then he wouldn't. Sam Hubbard's overrated because of that play. And Trey Hendrickson, defensive player of the year.
I'm actually really interested to see where Zane goes with this. I'm going to pass him the mic for his defensive player of the year right here.
I'm going to agree with Cooper and say Trey Hendrickson.
Well, I was really excited for that.
Are we doing defensive rookie of the year
We are doing defensive rookie of the year. And this is going to be a very interesting division because there's not like one guy that's super standout because a lot of the defensive rookies got picked later on in the draft or like later in the first round. So for me it was ultimately between Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton, and DJ Turner. And I had to take JPJ because I think he's just the best player out of the three, even though they're all really good players.
Yeah, I wanted Joey Porter in the first round after Christian Gonzalez got picked as a Lions fan, so the Steelers picking him at 33, right? Was it 33 or 32?
32.
Yeah, because of the forfeit pick. Yeah, I'll just go with Joey Porter Jr. simply off Lions fan and wanting him at 18.
Myles Murphy was the highest picked defensive player of any team in the AFC North, but I don't think he's going to make the impact because they already have two starting and really good edge rushers. Tommy, I'm going to pass it to you for Defensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC North.
I'm just a Michigan boy, so I'm going to go DJ Turner. So just keep it simple.
So, yeah, that was my pick, too. I was going to go DJ Turner, and I really didn't think you guys were going to say that, too. I mean, he ran something crazy, like 4.27 or something like that on his thing. So, I mean, you could see the upside there, so I'm going with him.
You think DJ? So you didn't think two Michigan fans would even consider DJ Turner for being picked?
No, I really didn't, to be honest.
Brody.
Yep, we got a comment. Also, I don't even know how much DJ Turner is really going to touch the field. What is your question there for you, Mr. Fieldsy? Brody, I have a question. Brody McCurchie, I have a question. I mean, what's the question? I'm waiting for you.
Big money's 4F statue. Huh?
Oh, no, delete that comment. That is. Oh, yikes. So now for our team recap. We got an 8-9 team, a 9-8 team, a 12-5 team, another 12-5 team. I get the Steelers going 8-9. First year under Tomlin, I think this division is just gonna beat itself up. Every team in this division is above average, and it's gonna be rough. I don't know if Pickett's gonna be able to dig them out of some holes and win them some games. I don't know how healthy Watt's gonna be.
Too small of hands to dig them out.
So does Joe Burrow.
And at 9-8, I have the Browns. I have Watson kind of like returning to form, but not as good as he used to be, and he's going to make the team way better, and they're going to be better defensively. But they're still going to play the Ravens and the Browns and the Bengals and the Steelers, and it's just going to be hard for them to rack up wins. And then at 12-5 division runner-up, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. I had them and the Ravens both at 12-5. The playoff predictor that I went through with this just had them as the runner-up. I think they're really good, but they got worse. I think they got worse. Defensively, they got worse. You can't lose Von Bell and Jesse Bates. They both play very pivotal roles in that defense, and I think that's gonna impact their team significantly. And that's kind of why that I have them only going 12-5. I've seen some people having them at 14-3, 13-4, these ridiculous records. I think 12-5. And I was flirting with 11-6. I gave them the win over the Bills in a non-redemption game for Josh Allen and company. What do you guys think about the Bengals at 12-5, second in the division?
I mess with it a lot. They could have easily lost to the Ravens last year, and again, the Ravens didn't have the offense that they have this year, so I can agree with it. Big Joe Burrow fan, big Jamar Chase fan. They're great, but they definitely will be on the short end of the stick in a few games.
And also, it might not be crazy to say they're the worst coached team of the four offensively. Or maybe not offensively, but like team and culture-wise. Because I think Stefanski's really good, and I'm not really sold on Zach Taylor. I think he's just kind of there.
Yeah, Zach Taylor's definitely just like the dude that's just like, all right, boys, what do y'all want to do for practice? And just sits back and lets them do it.
Hey, it's worked, but I don't think he's going to out-scheme many guys.
I'm not like huge on knowing about the coaches, but I'm not opposed to the Bengals going 12-5, and yeah.
So are you in on the Ravens hype of them going 12-5 and winning the division?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, the Ravens are a great team. Lamar Jackson's that guy. I think we talked about it in one of the earlier podcasts. He could have an MVP caliber season. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very sold on the Ravens with this. They got a great defense, average to above average offensive line, which turns into an elite running game when you have Lamar Jackson back there. And they're going to have great weapons, which they've never had with Lamar Jackson. Zane, I know you're all in on the Ravens hype, but what do you think about the Browns being 9-8 and the Bengals being 12-5? Would you flip those records if that were your choice?
I mean, yeah, it just depends on the year Deshaun Watson has. that team, he's like the highest paid player in the NFL. That team's going to go as he goes. And like I said before, I said I had the Ravens winning the division. So I have no problem, though, with the Bengals winning 12 games and being second in the division at all.
Okay.
And the Browns have a great defense, and obviously Deshaun Watson at quarterback, Nick Chubb at running back, but like who else do they have on offense?
The
And
second
they
best
don't
offensive line in football.
Yeah, and they have the best running back in football. So
Oh,
They
also-
hold on.
Well, I got the real answer. I'll give it to you next. But they got Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Amari Cooper to throw to.
say they have Michigan legend DPJ.
They have
That
a
is
good
true.
offense.
That
I
is
think
true.
defensively is
I forgot about
their biggest
Amari
weakness
Cooper and
because I don't know how
Elijah
good
Moore.
they'll be able to
I
stop
knew
the
about
run.
I knew DPJ, dude. DPJ is one of the best deep threats in football.
We just got to see how they can stop the run, but offensively they're pretty set. We're going to pass the phone here, or the mic here to Tommy, who's going to end us off with a preseason. It's way too early top 10 prospect, right, for the NFL draft? Who's going to be number one, Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison?
Now, this
Drake May?
this really all depends on what the Cardinals think of Kyler Murray. So we were talking about this before the pod, and we thought it could go two different ways. One, where the Cardinals trade Kyler Murray because of injury concerns, and if they don't think he's that guy, and then they do go Caleb Williams 1, and then Marvin Harrison 2. I think Marvin Harrison ends up on this team no matter what they do, though. I think if they do end up with the first 2 picks, Marvin Harrison will be the first pick. And then if they were to trade, obviously they go Caleb Williams. So I think those are the top 2 players in the draft, is Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison. Coop.
Nothing to say there. They are the 2 best prospects by a mile. So
I think by a mile is a little crazy. I think Drake May's a really good prospect, but he's definitely not on the level. Based off what you were saying about white supremacy earlier, I'm surprised you don't have Joe Alt as the number 1 prospect in the draft.
There's no proof that was me.
Yeah, T Mini 99 is no longer T Mini 19 is no longer Thomas.
No proof. No connection to that guy. No connection.
didn't you want to meet him?
I wouldn't. let's get away from that.
Yeah. We are. Pick 3.
Pick 3. I have the Bucks at pick 3. Sorry, Fieldsy. I have them selecting Drake May out of North Carolina to fill in a much-needed quarterback position, unless you think Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask is that guy. Would you like to expand on that, Zane?
No, I was completely joking. Kyle Trask is buns.
He could keep the fuck it Kyle Pitts down there somewhere mentality with Mike Evans for 2 games before Mike Evans gets in a fight with Marshawn Lattimore for getting clamped.
Then at number 4, I have I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce his name. I have the offensive tackle from Penn State. Yeah, Fayush. Yeah, Adewatulemi, whatever it is. I don't know. Guy's just a dog. He could have been a top. Honestly, I don't know about a top 10, but definitely a first-round pick this year. Chose to stay and get his degree at Penn State. Risky move, can get injured, but he's definitely a dog.
He came back for maybe a Penn State Big Ten championship run this year. Tune into the next podcast episode.
actually not.
That's actually two. It's 2 episodes away from now. I won't let Cooper lie to you guys. But Ola Fashunu came back, and I've seen people say he would have been the top tackle prospect in last year's draft class. And I think Paris Johnson was really good. So that's really high praise coming from high end. Like Matt Miller, I believe, said that. So it's high praise coming from very valued opinions in the industry.
Yeah. In a week, let's see. Let's see if we have Michigan three-peating, Ohio State getting their revenge, or Penn State just being the dark horse and comes out of nowhere.
All right. Up next at number, what am I at? 4.
No, you're at 5.
Am I at 5?
You're at 5. Yes.
Yeah, I said Marvis. Yeah, 5.
So
To recap, Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., then Drake May, then
Yep.
At number 5, I'm gonna go with the best tight end prospect in college football, Brock Bowers. He's just been completely dominant over the past couple of years, and no question the best tight end in college football the past couple of years. I think he continues to do that this year and lands himself with a top 10 pick.
100%. Brock Bowers is him. First 5 picks are offensive players, though, eh?
Yeah, that'll change with the next pick.
Okay.
Ooh, a little sneak peek. I just want to say how nice that this draft class is going to be. This is a good draft class. And there could be some players that play their way up or play their way down, but I'm really, really excited to see how good this draft class turns out. It's going to be the best one we've had in a little while. Zane, any thoughts?
I mean, I watched a lot of Brock Bowers because my cousins are Georgia fans, so I've seen a lot of him. I like the pick. He's really good. I mean, he's no Sam Laporta, but he's been a really good college tight end. It'll translate to the pros, hopefully better than Kyle Pitts, but I like the pick.
Who do you have Brock Bowers going to?
Or is this just a big board?
This is just a big board.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
We only really talked teams when it was the first. First
I
three.
mean, we don't even know what can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first 3 teams first 3 picks are pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then next at number 6, I have Gerard Verse from Florida State. I think he's the best edge in the draft. I think he's very good. Coop.
I'm trying to remember who he is, but yeah, I do agree he's a good player. And yeah, this draft does have the best variety an NFL draft has in a while.
Do you think he's far and away the best edge rusher in this class? Because this is a very deep edge class again.
I don't think the gap is as big as it was in years past, like as edge rushers go. I mean, we see with a couple years ago, you had Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, and Thibodeau as your top 3. Then a big gap. I don't think there's as big of a gap there, but I think he is the best edge rusher in the draft, and I think he deserves a spot right here.
Will he be the next Jermaine Johnson and be able to catch Josh Allen out of the pocket? I mean, they have that Florida State blood.
I feel like if an AFC team wants him, he can be that guy.
Okay.
Next, I have probably the most fun name in the draft, Kool-Aid McKinstry. I haven't watched much of him, but I mean, what's not to like about Kool-Aid McKinstry?
I haven't watched much of him, but you're gonna rank him number 7 out of all 1,000 players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch much of.
He's a DB from Alabama.
DB from Alabama.
They
What?
haven't had one in the top 10 since Pat. Wait, Pat went 10 or 11?
This is just.
10 'cause
I don't have to.
Or did he go 12?
No, I think he
Parsons
went earlier.
11. Or
Yeah,
Parsons
so he went
12.
10
I don't.
because the Cowboys wanted him, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
the Broncos picked him ahead.
This is just from me doing research. I didn't watch a ton of film. I just did a bunch of research
yeah.
before the.
So you looked at other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy.
Ala-
I was trying to set Zane up to come in with the hammer over here, and he's just not. He's just sitting there playing with his balls.
What do you want me to say? You're taking care of him.
No, because normally you're like the guy that's like you gotta have your own opinion. It's like
Tommy, what the hell, dude? You gotta have your own opinion.
And of course, like I said, since Pat Surtain, Alabama hasn't had a top 10 corner, and it's been about 2-3 years since Pat Surtain has been drafted. So it is Kool-Aid McKinstry's time.
I just didn't want to say anything stupid about him because I honestly haven't watched much of him, so I can't really form an opinion on him. So I look to others.
I respect the not saying anything because you're not for sure on it. I was really just trying to set Zane up to say something funny, and he was just sitting over there.
I remember him being solid though against Georgia in the national championship. That's all I remember of him.
All right. 7. So wait.
8. We're at 8.
He was 7.
This is 8.
5 offensive, 2 defensive. That's just how it's going.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go back to quarterback. And I'm gonna go with Michael Penix.
Trash.
I don't care.
No, actually, I'm big on Penix. They're gonna.
Phoenix energy.
Yeah. So he's gonna. Washington's gonna be the second best offense in the country next to Ohio State. They got the. They're gonna be. I don't care. No, I don't care. They're gonna be those receivers they have up there. They are nasty. They're gonna be the second best. I don't care what Brody's saying back here. It's gonna be them. It's gonna be Ohio State, them, and then USC.
We have seen quarterbacks stock inflate over the past couple seasons, and I think a quarterback needy team is going to have their opportunity to take a very solid quarterback here.
Michael Vick.
Like, Is this like a trade up situation? Like a team will trade up to get Michael Penix?
I'm totally confused by this, to be honest, because big boards are not. There's no positional value in big boards. You know what I'm saying? And you're putting Michael Penix up here, and it's just like I think there's some players that are just way better.
I think he did his own thing. Like, you were hating on him literally a pick before, and I think we should respect his opinion.
I'm just giving my opinion.
If every NFL team had a Michigan State logo on their helmet, then Michael Penix would be the greatest quarterback of all time. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, moving on. We're at 9 now. Joe Alt, the next best offensive tackle.
I'm just surprised he's not number 1.
Getting away from that.
He said that was some aggression.
Joe Alt, just another. I mean, not as good as the Penn State dude, but pretty good. Good size. Says he's 6'7". Yeah.
If he's 6'7", what does that mean he also has big of?
It means he has big feet. Yeah, huge feet. Like, gotta. Must have huge hands too. I mean.
Well, his arms are long, and what else got to be long? His legs.
Long arms, long legs, just long.
That's what you look for in a tackle.
Yeah, long appendages.
Size matters in the NFL, you gotta be that big body in the trenches. You can't be pushed around. Size matters.
Right.
He's an overweight white guy, so I got a little dick though.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's what you guys. That's what Cooper was over here hitting at. I'm like, we might as well just say it.
And then to round out this terrible segment, defensive tackle from Ohio State, Michael Hall Jr.
I like this pick. I think this guy's really good, and he's super underrated. I do have to say, though, where's the best quarterback in the draft class? J.J. McCarthy.
I think he's a first-round pick, but I think he's a late first-round pick. Just his mobility will definitely boost his stock. But there's been some concerns, with I disagree with this, but there's been some concerns with his arm strength and decision making. I think he's a very solid quarterback.
Let him throw the ball at Michigan. Let him move it up.
Michael Hall Jr. is great, but I honestly think for top 10, I will go with his teammate JT Tuimoloau, or however you say it.
No, Tommy has it right.
After you say his last name, Michael Hall Jr. is great, but I mean, I just think JT's better.
Honestly, I'm gonna go Michael Hall Jr. over JT, but I think Ohio State's gonna have a sneaky good defense this year with JT Tuimoloau, Michael Hall Jr., and then Jack Sawyer. Denzel Burke, and then they got that transfer from Ole Miss, David Igbuson. He was pretty good. I think he was a 5-star in high school, and then he's a 4-star rated transfer. So they're going to have a sneaky good defense this year. A lot of people are going to undervalue that because they're just going to look at those 5-star receivers in their offense. But I am a big fan of Michael Hall Jr., and he's going to do good things in the NFL.
I think they have the best defensive line in college football this year.
See, I don't want to go that far because Georgia's always got to have that respect right now just because, national championships and they put guys in the league. But Ohio State has the potential to put 3 defensive people or defensive in the front with JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer, Michael Hall Jr. in the first round.
I know we're going to say Ohio State has the most proven defensive line this year.
Yeah.
Georgia might have the best, but they have guys that need to prove themselves. Ohio State's guys have already proved themselves.
Yeah, they are definitely the oldest, like you said, and the most proven because JT's been there 3 years, Jack Sawyer's been there a minute, maybe.
They're all juniors.
Yeah. They came in the same year, Jack Sawyer and JT, and then Michael Hall Jr. I think's been here is 4 years maybe. So, but yeah, they're the most proven, like you said, and played the most. So
yeah. And Cooper, what do you got to say something on that?
Yeah, most proven defensive line in the country just to get ran on 400 yards by Michigan, but we'll see.
This is coming from a State fan, by the way.
Yeah, it is, but my goodness, it's awful watching Ohio State versus Michigan, and I'm usually rooting for the Buckeyes. I don't even care that I have Michigan fans around me, but I'll just say it out. I'm rooting for the Buckeyes, but the defense can't get a stop, so hopefully now that they're all about to go in the NFL, they play a little harder and maybe make something happen.
See, I am not a Michigan fan whatsoever. I do respect them. But this is the year for them to win it all. If they don't do it this year, I don't know really when they can. They got a lot of people back. They have the best offensive line in the country with like 7 offensive linemen projected to get drafted with the 2 best running backs in the country. So and they have a court.
Wow, you're giving us that much credit for the running back room? I love it.
I mean, the Penn State running back room, Nick Singleton's pretty
I'd say
good.
we have 2 top 5. I wouldn't say we have 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
Braylon
have,
Allen, it might be like he's probably the
Yeah.
second best back in the big.
they have the best running back room in the country.
Actually, I'm
What,
gonna go on.
what was wrong
You said
about
top
that?
2 running backs.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
what
Well,
I was like, I love it.
they have the
That's-
best running back room in the country, but
I was about to say we
Th-
probably have 1.
this is what they have to take advantage of everyone getting a new quarterback this year. Georgia's getting Carson Beck. Ohio State's losing C.J. Stroud, and they're in a quarterback battle. Alabama's losing Bryce Young. They're the only one with a returning quarterback out of those 4 teams, and I think those are the best 4 teams in the country. They have to capitalize on that.
No Washington or Penn State love.
Nah.
No USC
State,
love.
Penn State again is losing.
I think no, we're not doing this. Sean Clifford is straight up terrible.
we
That
gotta
is a
stop.
that is a
This
good
is-
thing.
this is-
But it's a first-year quarterback.
We got to stop because we got to get more into this on next Sunday. Yeah. So we're gonna stop this. That was a little preview of what's to come. It's gonna get very heated. So tune in to Wednesday's pod. Leave comments, questions, any suggestions in the comments.
We're covering college football Sunday. I want you guys. We can't give our full season preview. We're saving that for a later episode. But conference by conference, position by position, we want you guys to tell us what you want to see.
All right, we'll catch you guys on Wednesday.
Peace.